Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, wow. We have something special for you today. As always, wow, I just realized we're getting to the end of the year. Maybe we should do something really special for the end of the year, like we did last year. That was fun. So, well, I'm sure we'll talk off cameras for some ideas. So, welcome to Coach's Corner, where this particular session we've been going through the entire book of Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, and by Wallace D. Wattles. And we are on the chapter, The Impression of Increase. And that's what we're here to do, is give you the impression of increase, but also really help you understand what that really means, what the impression of increase really means. So without
Without further ado,
there's
let's rock it.
see, I think that's Lou's phone buzzing away, So so without further ado, my name is Jamel Matias. I'm a certified mindset success coach / business consultant. And my purpose is to reveal the hidden potential that's already within you and guide you to your truest desires. So I work with individuals, entrepreneurs, businesses, and business owners, basically achieve higher milestones. And it's all about believing in the unseen. I'm the founder of Believing in the Unseen Consulting. And believing in that goal, that dream, that wish, whatever it is that you desire in your business or personal life, I help guide you to that point. And also mentored by the legend Bob Proctor. So amongst my colleagues here as well. So I'd like to pass it along to my amazing colleague, Lou.
Oh, thank you, Jamel. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, Alicia. So my name is Lou Perica, and I am a success mindset mentor. And what I do is I guide women back to the truth of who they really are. They're powerful, they're capable, and designed for more. And I help them untie the mindset knots that keep them playing small so they can live, they can lead, and create from their highest identity. And I'm excited about this week's chapter because in this book, we were shown that chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14 are key chapters. So today is chapter 14, leaving others with the impression of increase. And it's about seeing the potential in people and also in ourselves and choosing to show up in a way that lifts everyone a little bit higher. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this with my colleagues. So I will pass it on to my wonderful colleague, Alicia.
Hello, everybody. What is that? What? It's some, you hear now? It's okay?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
now
we
it's
can hear
okay.
you.
Now it's
We
okay.
can see you and we can hear you.
Yeah, nobody was like, echo. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Lou. Nice to be here with you, Lou, and Paul, and Jamel. My name is Alicia Spinoza. I am based in Sweden, and I help people to create a life that feels good on the inside and not just looks good from the outside. Sometimes we are chasing things outside us, and when we arrive there, then we don't feel like, okay, is that everything? So I help people to create a life that really, really feels good on the inside, and I also coach leaders to create to be a leader worth following. Paul.
Thank you, Alicia. My name is Paul Wooters. I'm in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. I'm a success mindset coach, Proctor Gallagher consultant. I'm also the director of the Leadership and Development Department at the World Life Education Center. Now, most people live from the outside in, allowing what they see, what they feel, and experience, what they hear to dictate what they think and how they feel. But real transformation happens when we live from the inside out. So when we let our thoughts, our beliefs, and our inner vision shape the outer world. Because transformation, it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design and with intention. So we help improve the quality of people's lives using science and psychology to help them reach their most elusive personal and professional goals and help them live to their greatest possibilities. Jamel.
Oh, wow. I love it. This is going to be awesome. This
Yes,
is going to
yes,
be
yes.
amazing
Of course.
because the impression of increase is, oh, I wish I knew it a long time ago, but thank goodness I know it now. This chapter is extremely powerful. And as Lou mentioned at the beginning, there were certain chapters that, we were trained to focus on, but I see the uniqueness of every chapter. What is that? Oh, that Lou, I think it's something's vibrating.
No, no, it's not blue. I think that it was all the time before also.
Yeah. Well, see, watch this. See that? What is that?
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, let me mute.
Yeah, I
See?
hear that.
And now the sound's gone. If I mute Lou.
Yeah.
See?
Ah.
So something on Lou's end. It's okay. It's the energy.
Maybe somebody working outside?
It's like a phone vibration sound. No?
Yeah.
Is it? If I unmute you.
Is that better?
Yes, it's gone.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Oh, I was in the timeout corner.
No, it's okay. This is good.
Okay.
That's good, right? Because anytime you're sharing that energy, I want people to hear you. To make sure.
Okay.
So with the impression of increase, it is essential to understand it. And right at the top of the chapter here, and before we get into the in depth with this knowledge, reach out to us. Feel free to engage. Drop some comments, some emojis. Contact us. Message us. Whatever platform you're on. We're on so many different platforms. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Bunch of Facebook profiles. Don't let this just be knowledge and you get inspired for the hour or whatever. Act on it, because nothing changes until you change. Nothing changes. Okay. So right at the top here, right at the top, he says whether you change your vocation or not, right? Whether you change your vocation or not, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. So that's acting where you are. That's acting, doing what you can with what you have right now, whether you change your vocation or not, whatever industry that you're in, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. So wherever you are in your life, it's basically to act where you are. And he even says here to kind of reemphasize, you can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in, by doing your daily work in a certain way. So we talked a lot in depth about the certain way, but also for those that may not have be in a certain industry or business or job that you don't want to be. But remember, you always have the power wherever you are and whenever you are. So if you're not in a place that you don't want to be, you can get into it even says it, you can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in. So what is constructive use? Working in a certain way. He says it right there. And if you miss the certain way or a certain way, I know Lou will correct me later, is rewatch those sessions. It's first having a vision. If you don't have a vision, you don't know where you're going. And the universe doesn't know where you're going, right? It works in tandem, it works together. With faith and purpose to know that you are achieving or attracting or getting what you want. So you definitely have to have a vision to know where you're going. And that is just a quick summary of a certain way. So it doesn't matter where you are, start where you are with what you have and proceed from there in a certain way. I really like that because a lot of people feel if I'm in this wrong environment, I can't proceed in life. And they use that as an excuse to reinforce the paradigm. The paradigm is your limiting self, your limiting beliefs. And I hear that, some people share that. I'm like, wow, that used to be me. I'm not where I'm at. I want to be. I can't do it because this is me. This is all I have. I mean, can anybody relate to that? Yeah, you might want to pick up on that. I think Lou does. All right, look, there you go.
I'm muted.
No, you're good now.
Oh, I'm good now. Okay. Thank you. Again, out in the timeout corner. So thank you, Jamel. Yeah, so, I love in this in this chapter, a little bit down further along, all human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, more life. And sometimes I used to think, oh, I shouldn't really want more. I should be satisfied with what I have. And I was taught that to be happy and to be grateful for what we have, but never to be satisfied. Because dissatisfaction is a creative energy. You're not satisfied. So life never goes backwards. It's always going forward. Why? Because every human and animal is always looking for the increase of life. And what I love about this chapter is because everyone, and this is what I love, everyone wants to feel valued. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be uplifted. They want to be respected, appreciated, inspired. And this is emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So it's human nature. And when I'm with women, I hear the same message, even though when we're in groups and we're having discussions and conversations, they all are saying maybe a little bit different things, but underneath it all, it really is the desire to be seen, to be understood, to be appreciated, to be valued, and feel loved. So this is what leaving others with the impression of increase is about. I know when I go into a restaurant, one of my favorite things to do, and I've made it a habit, and it's not just when I go to a restaurant, but I'm mindful wherever I am, is to ask people, what is your name? That is such a simple and yet powerful question. So for an example, when I go out to dinner and the server comes over and they take our order, etc., I always ask, what is your name? And then they'll tell us also, well, thank you, so-and-so, for taking care of us this evening. We're looking forward to it. And that changes their vibration. It changes the whole dinner experience or breakfast or lunch experience because they feel noticed. I've noticed them, I've acknowledged them, and I've thanked them. And that is leaving the impression of increase. So what happens? I get a better experience as well. Now I feel I know the server. I feel I know them a little bit. I mention their name a few times. and I get a better experience because they show up differently because we have acknowledged them. So I just wanted to share that it's such a simple habit to get into, but it makes a huge difference when you acknowledge people.
Mhm.
Alicia?
Yeah, I, I don't know what happened. Today is spooky in our in StreamYard. Oh, okay. So I was no, I was here in echo all the time. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I
but now
corrected the. Yeah, there's a setting that was disabled, so I just fixed it for everybody.
yeah, okay, good.
oh, sorry.
So I was when you say about the dissatisfaction, like is when we I talk to my clients about chasing something outside to get feel happy. The happiness is inside, and is gratitude, as you talk about that. But to also I also learned not to be satisfied, and it doesn't mean that I am not happy in the moment or so, but as you say, it's the the creation that came from that. Imagine if we didn't have in the history people were not satisfied. I mean, maybe we still be in the cave because we want always something better, better and better. So it's but it's as you say, Lou, it's not waiting to get something better to create the happiness inside or the gratitude. And also, it got me think about ancient Indian principle that is called Genshai. And Genshai means that you treat anyone in a way that makes them feel you don't treat anyone in a way that makes them feel small. And the beauty also is that that principle is also applied to yourself, to the person that you see in the mirror every morning. And I believe also that when you are living Genshai, you are respecting yourself, you having dignity, and you are also doing the same with other people, treating them with respect, and so. And I believe that when we treat ourselves with that kindness, with respect, with dignity, uh, we are more open to treat other people in that way also. So of course you are we want to treat people good all the time, but for example, I know that when one of the things that it give me, like, when I'm in this balance is when I feel stressed. is I don't like stress, because when I am so stressed for something, my patience is very short. It's like I don't tolerate things. I When I am very in my highest best, and somebody does something like, oh, okay, but when I am not there, when I am stressed for something, I feel like, like a bomb, like I like a ninja. So is why I meditate a lot. The one thing that stress me, for example, is about time. When when I need to go to some places and I'm late, that is one thing that stress me, and is why I am so proactive, not helping myself to be in a good place and not getting stressed. Maybe I go there early, and so, because I know that if I'm feeling stress, I'm not the best hire of myself, because the quality of thinking is lower. So is a proactive and working all the time with that, so that I can leave all people that I meet with impression and increase, and not the other way.
Great points, Alicia. Well, that was really, really, really insightful, and thank you for sharing that. I'd like reflect back to, our mentor Bob Proctor, and he said that this was one of the greatest ideas that the author Wallace Wattles ever had. And Bob loved teaching this particular chapter, and he said he would teach it around the world. And I know it's part of our program, even in Thinking into Results. And he said that if you really, really understand this chapter, then your life will change. So giving every person the impression of increase, what does that mean? It means that when people come into your presence, they feel bigger. They should feel more valuable. They should feel that life is expanding for them because you were around. And it isn't about, flattery or pretending or, false words or anything like that. It's not trying to win somebody over. It's about looking at someone, seeing them, and honoring the potential that they have. So you don't look at someone for who they are. You look at someone for who they can become. And then you speak to that version of them. So when you do that, now you're in harmony with the purpose of the universe, right? Life is forever moving toward fuller expansion and expression. Everything is growing, everything is unfolding, everything is expanding. So when you help another person expand, then you're aligning yourself with that movement, with that upward movement and growth. And that's why it works. It's not psychology, actually. It's actually the law. And people are attracted to people who make them feel capable. They're attracted if you make them feel strong and hopeful. They're attracted to the people that believe in them. And when people are drawn to you, then opportunity is drawn to you, and you become a center of increase. So when you walk into a room, everything gets better. You talk to someone and they walk away feeling more confident. You offer service or a product, and that person feels improved because of it. And when you do that consistently, then life will continue to expand for yourself, and you won't stay where you are. It becomes impossible to remain where you are. And you're operating at that higher frequency. So it's a frequency of growth, of expansion, of contribution, and abundance. And the universe responds to that vibration you're in. Jamel.
Oh, that is so good. This is it's so good. I can't even find the applause. So yeah, it's so good. This reminds me of something. One of my posts just went viral on YouTube. Yay! I did a video. It's called a 30-day challenge, right? So try this for 30 days, and it's very transformational. And it's interesting. I did it on the video. So it's amazing to see how everything outside of you responds based on what's on the inside. So for everyone that's watching or listening, try this for 30 days. Try it for 1 week. I know our paradigms are very strong for a lot of people. So every person you meet, find something good in them, right? Say something uplifting, or leave them better than you found them. All right. And And this is not to get something. Just do either of those things, right? For 7 days. But this is to align yourself with abundance and growth at a very deep level. And do this consistently, and relationships, income, and opportunities shift. They start shifting when you do this for people. And you want to give increase and just watch, and watch your life increase. As you give, so shall you receive. So, and it's not to get anything. Do it with a genuine open heart. And it's a 30-day challenge. For those strong paradigms, try it for 7 days. Do it for 7 days. Don't try. Don't even say the word try again after this session. All right. So, there's such amazing things shared here. And this part is so powerful. It's actually in our mentorship, Thinking into Results, that Paul mentioned. And he uses this little excerpt from the book. And I just had to say it here on camera because it really opens your mind to why we're here and what we're doing in this life. He says, increase is what all men and women men and women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them, seeking fuller expression. Wow. The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. So really think about that. The person that's in, wants to long jump. I used to do long jump and track. They want to jump farther. The high jump, they want to jump higher. They sprint, they want to sprint faster. They dive off the diving board or whatever, cliff diving, they want to dive better, right? So all human activities are based on the desire for increase. And you know what? I really don't think it's just humans. I think animals too want to become more in some way, right? So people are seeking more food. I love food. We ordered this super fancy, I'm not going to advertise it, but it was like some fancy ramen noodle, Asian cuisine stuff. It was so good. More clothes. I'm wearing my super nice tie today. Where is it? This is humorous. My super nice tie today. Better shelter and more luxury, right? More beauty, more knowledge. A lot of people that watch, they want more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, more life. So every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. So, and he ends it here. Man or people instinctively know this, and hence they are forever seeking more. So that's the desire within. And when you're leaving the impression of increase, we know that's connected to a universal law of cause and effect. We are the cause. What are you putting out into the universe every day? Are you putting great energy? Are you giving someone a compliment? I remember, Lou, I said, you have great insight at the beginning of that session. And she did. That was an impression of increase, And when Alicia brings up her props, it's monumental. That's an impression of increase. When Paul gets to flowing in that Zen state and the Spirit speaking through him, that's an impression of increase when we do the applause and everything, right? So what's interesting about that, how we're always seeking more, that Spirit seeking expression to and through you. And it'll always reflect what you're sending out. And I'll just stop there. Lou, you have something to share there? I got you. Oh.
Can I talk? Is it echoing?
No, it's just vibrating. It's okay. We can hear you.
I don't know why it's vibrating.
Yeah, I'll try something.
How is that? Is that
better?
Yeah,
it's better. Mm-hmm.
Good.
I wonder if my laptop was against the wall. But anyways, so leaving the impression of increase, I think I did it at times before I started to really study myself and understand myself. But I will tell you, and Alicia talked about this, it's learning and knowing who you are first. Knowing and understanding that power that is within you, when you connect to that source, when you connect to that power, when you have an understanding of what that power is, then you're able to see it in others. But I had to see it in myself first before I could see it in others, because then I would just be pretending. I would just, like as Paul was saying, maybe flattery and just small talk. But now when I speak to someone, it's really very sincere. And there's a lot of authenticity behind it because I understand there's only one source. Everything comes from the one source. And I want to give an example what happened to us the other day. Again, at a restaurant, we're at a steakhouse. My husband orders steak. I order salmon. I don't eat steak. The meals come. We always go to this place. It's reliable. It's always consistent. But my salmon was not cooked. As my husband said, the hook was still in its mouth. So we send it back. No problem. We're waiting and waiting. Now my husband is eating and I'm just sitting there. So they bring it back. Again, it's still not cooked enough. So we had to flag down the server. They bring it back. And my husband's eating and I'm laughing because I'm thinking they're all scared to bring back the third time to come to our table, right? But here's the thing. I was so chill. I have seen people, right? Like they had to make this scene, make themselves feel important, put people down. My job is not to have someone feel bad. I have no intention of having them feel bad, feel guilty, etc. It's like, it happens. I used to serve. I get it. So they come around and now it's too late. My husband's finished, so we just take the food home. But here, I want you to understand the ripple effect. If I had chewed them out, oh my God, rolled my eyes, made the face, I would have made them feel really bad. They would have went home because they had a bad night. And perhaps they would have taken it out on some family members or somebody. They would feel badly, maybe coming back to work in the fear of that happening again. But that didn't happen. Most likely they were like, oh, wow, she didn't bite our heads off. She was very nice, very polite about it, very understanding. So that was leaving the impression of increase because there is a ripple effect. And for me, how I benefited from it, I felt so good of how I responded instead of reacting. I see people, it blows my mind. They all of a sudden become superior and they feel that they can just snap at somebody when their luggage is lost at an airport. And it fascinates me. So for me, it was an impression of increase for myself as well. So you see, there was a benefit everywhere. But I was the one who had to initiate and do it with intention. But it was more natural because I've been there. I've been on the other end when someone chewed you out about something. It doesn't have to be food. It could be anything, right? And it just doesn't feel good. And I don't want to leave anyone feeling that way. So I'm mindful because I even have done it to myself at times and it doesn't feel good. So understanding who you are, how powerful you are, how your thoughts and your words and your deeds create. So be very mindful of what you want to create and how you want to leave that creation upon others. So that I just wanted to share that story because I felt very good. Maybe there was a time I would have had that superior, that superior feeling. I'm paying for this meal and it should be right and yada yada. But I no longer have that. So that is huge growth. And when I grow, others that I surround myself with or speak with will also benefit from that growth. And then their family members or the people, because it's almost like teaching somebody. This is how we respond. We don't react like animals. We don't react, we respond. We have the ability to choose at that moment, who do I want to show up as? Do I want to leave this table, this restaurant going, was it a perfect meal? No, that's okay. It's cool. There'll be plenty others. But I could feel good about myself and I could feel good that I didn't yell at someone, I didn't belittle them, didn't make them nervous. So that for me was leaving the impression of increase with myself and for others. I just wanted to share that.
It was really good.
Corner? Am I going to go back in the corner again?
We'll find out.
No, it's good now.
Okay.
um, Lou, when you say that when you didn't was like angry at this person helping you, and you say it came to my mind a picture of a person that throw gasoline to another person, but it will always come a little bit for yourself. So when you tend your the fire, you will also burn because you will get also gasoline in yourself. So it's like it's not just it's not just the other person, but it's yourself. Yeah, I was thinking also about the challenge that you say, Yemen, in 30 days. I say, oh, why not go for the people that we sometimes will see people and say, oh, that person is so strange. And people are not strange, they are just different. And this is what I love working with values, because now I don't have my prompt here because I am in the very, very north of Sweden. It's so cold here. But we have this frame. I show my frame sometimes, and we all have different frames how we see the world. And when we have the one frame, and then we see another person with another frames of seeing the world, we don't say, oh, that person thinks that way. No, we say, oh, that person is so strange. Instead of stepping back and thinking, well, I wonder why that person thinks that way. I am curious about that frame that is different from my frame, and starting to maybe go to those people that you feel they are strange and leaving them with the impression of increase. That will be a very good challenge, to start to try to understand their points of view that is different from your point of view. So that is something. And something that I was reflecting today, when I was, or this week when I was reading this chapter. You see in the social media people doing, helping another people, giving them money or giving them food, and then I say, why should they film that? so that other people see that. And for me, it's like, when you help somebody, like if you give them money or food or something like that, you don't need and this is my frame of how I see the world, like it's like expecting something back from that help that you do. And I wrote here that it's it's like when we leave the other people the impression of increase is not to get something back, and not even to secret wish for something in return. So for me is, my value at leaving the people with impression and increase is that I don't want to go and say, oh yeah, I helped that people with food or doing those type of things, because I believe that you can do that quiet without anybody seeing what you are doing, because then you are expecting somebody to applaud for you. Wow, you did that good. This is my point of view. And so when we release the need for something in return, then you release also the disappointment or comparison to others. Yes, you are doing that from your higher self, and it's because it feels true to yourself, and because it expands you. That is how I think about the impressional increase. And I have my affirmation that I do, like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I create value to every single person who I come in contact every day, including myself. So it's like, and this is this is like uh, the sport. You need to continue to work on that all the time, because if you don't practice that, you lose that. So you need to practice. And I feel like I getting much better all the time when I'm practicing that.
Well, thank you, Alicia. That really good points. And I love the example that Lou gave too about the restaurant. And I have a little story I'm going to share. But like Alicia said, the impression of increase, it has to be genuine. It's not manipulation, right? Again, like I said before, it's not flattery, and it isn't positive thinking. It's just seeing the potential in others and reflecting it back to them, and that requires sincerity, belief and gratitude, a generous spirit. The Wallace Waddle says that, you can't fake this. You have to actually be the person who believes in growth and gives others confidence. The impression of increase elevates you because you become the source of growth. And when Lou was talking about the example in the restaurant, about once a week, I would go to this sub sandwich place, right? Like a Subway. I don't know I guess you have it in the States. I don't know if you have it in Sweden.
Yeah.
And so most of the time when you go into, a grocery store or a place like a Subway place, hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. Blah, 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 right? Always the same thing. Hi, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? So instead I would, I would ask questions. What do you most enjoy doing when you're not here? What is it you most look forward to on your days off? How many days off? How much time? And I would ask questions like that. And this person would be so happy to tell me about, their life. And I found out that this person, she was a young Indian woman who had come to Canada, and she was actually a pharmacist. She was a qualified pharmacist. And so I knew she's not like here to work behind the Subway counter, but she had to do her papers so that she could work as a pharmacist in Canada. And she was waiting to do those exams or whatever the process was. And so I would ask her about that and how it was going and all those sorts of things. And eventually, I mean, there's nothing flirtatious going on here, but she would make my sandwich and she would always stick in a couple cookies. Every time I went in there, she would stick in a couple of cookies. And then finally, yeah, it was good. Finally, you know, she said, oh, you know what, like this is my last week. I've finally got my papers and and my husband's coming over from India and everything's working out and all that kind of thing. And, next Tuesday or whatever is my last day. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to go pass by and give her a card and congratulations and, good luck on your life moving forward, because I know you weren't here, you didn't come here to work behind the subway counter. And so when I went in that next week, which was going to be her last day, she wasn't there. And so I asked for her when I came in and the person said, oh, no, she's not here. She's already gone. I said, oh, okay. So I walked out and she goes, oh, is your name Paul? And I said, yeah. She goes, oh, well, she left a note here for you. And it was just a note on a piece of paper. It said, thank you for being such a wonderful customer. You always made my day when you came in. And, did that ever make my day, right? And it was just a small thing, just asking her about her life, not just saying, hi, how are you? I'm fine, and whatever. And, she would tell me, she would share how she would get complaints about, the sandwiches that she had made or done this wrong or done that incorrectly. It was always quick to get, complaints, but never really heard any compliments or anything like that. And no one ever asked her about her life or what she was doing and things like that. So it was just, it was so like, I just walked away from there. I was wanting to do something nice for her. And instead I walked away and she had done something so great for me by just leaving me a note and telling me what a great customer I had been. And it was just, all I was doing was buying a Subway sandwich, right? So
yeah, it's so good. So
I
good.
love it. Thanks for sharing that. Where's the heartbeat? There you go. There you go. Oh, sorry. Hit it twice. That was so amazing. Paul, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so powerful. That's actually the universe responding to you, right? And it's exactly what we're sharing here. You were leaving the impression of increase by asking those key questions and taking her out of the routine of all the other activity of people that aren't as aware of what we're talking about. And the universe responded, right? All of us, right? The stories that were shared here. And that inspired for me to pick up the stick person. But, Alicia talked about this. Lou did as well, right? With the steak. We either react or we respond, right? So at the outside will always show you something for you to grow, if you grow, right? So you can either be like most of the people at that Subway place that they're just grumpy. They're letting all these negative things affect how they feel in their own vibrational state in their body. And, oh, you didn't make my sandwich right. And they're probably connected to all the negativity that happened at the previous store or in their car or what happened last week or their job or their husband or wife. And they're letting all this stuff compound and they're just reacting to everything. What does Bob call that? You become the plaything for outside sources, just playing with you like a puppet, right? So this is why it's important to, anytime you react to anything, you're operating at an animalistic state. You're very low frequency. Like a dog, you hit it on the head aggressively, it's going to react. You don't want to be an animal, right? We're intelligent and we're able to basically respond. And there's a split second between, responding to any negative situation. You can have that second where, oh, that's interesting. I choose not to react because my higher self would not act like that, So it was just inspired to kind of clarify that for those that don't know. You have a choice in every moment. You can respond or react. And the more you respond, you're operating from your higher self. There's always a higher version of yourself. This is amazing. So, and speaking of that, you know, in the book, he mentions in this chapter, which is massive, the whole chapter, the whole book is massive. But he says here, the normal desire for increased wealth, oh, this is so good, is not an evil. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or a reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. It is aspiration. Now, there's a lot of people feel like they're not worthy of the abundance, or feel getting rich or more money or a better lifestyle is evil. There's some underlying paradigms there. These are beliefs that are passed down through generations, right? And it's what's interesting. Those that aren't very wealthy look at people that are wealthy and automatically have like a evil mentality about it. Oh, they're mean people. So these are some really deep-seated paradigms here. But don't feel bad about your desire for increase as a human being. That was something, that was mentioned here that I really wanted to talk about. And all it is aspiration. And he goes on to say this. And because it is the deepest instinct of their nature, all men and women are attracted to him or her who can give them more of the means of life. Mm-hmm. So the more you desire, obviously, the more you become. The more you become, the more you attract other people. It's an endless, beautiful cycle when you really think about it. That's something to really clarify. All men and women are attracted to this person who can give them more of a means of life. So your desire is the spirit speaking expression through you. And it even goes on, in following the certain way as described in the foregoing pages, which the foregoing sessions that we've had, you are getting continuous increase for yourself. Where's the flaws? Right? So you're getting increase for yourself every time you watch this. Every time you may take notes when you watch this, every time you contact one of us, every time you're putting something into your spirit for advancement. So you're getting increase for yourself. It doesn't stop there. And you are giving it all with whom you deal. You must be, willing to give and graciously receive. Willing to give. So we're all giving here every Sunday. I think we're coming up on, 2 years. Who's counting? It doesn't matter, right? So we're constantly giving, right? And we're growing as individuals and as a collective, right? And as we're increasing ourselves, we're giving it to all with whom you deal. Every viewer, every person that comments, every person that contacts us. And this is very, very important to re-emphasize here. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. We are a creative center, and so are you. So, and when you're giving off, what are you giving off? Positive energy, increase, or negative energy, decrease, right? Mm-hmm. So there's always a choice in every present moment. And those are some powerful things that, were in this chapter. And there's a few more, but I'm sure Lou has something very special to say here. So let's unmute Lou. All right, where's the button? Okay, there you go.
There we are. Thank you, Jamel. I have here highlighted, and I'm going to kind of use my own words, but it's just not just words that necessarily you need to use to communicate the feeling of increase or the impression of increase, but someone can feel your calmness, right? Your authentic energy. They can feel it. And I have like an example, and I used to fall into this category. maybe you're speaking to a friend or someone and they feel stuck and they just need to vent. And you sit there and without even saying anything, you're just nodding. They just have to get it off of their chest. But you're not giving any advice. You're just listening. And you will notice that the energy of venting starts to dissipate as they go on and on. And instead of chiming in saying, oh, that happened to me, let me explain what happened to my story, or yeah, I can relate to that. If we say to them, I've seen you overcome harder things than this, and you're way more resilient than you realize. Now they have to think, because I didn't keep the snowball going, right? But I would do that. I used to do that. And if one person didn't hear me, I'd go to the next person, right? And because I was in the habit of just complaining or sharing those thoughts and feelings, because I did not realize at that time my own powers, my own tools. So this is also how we can help others with the impression of increase, having them understand the same power that is within me, that is keeping me calm, that has me being compassionate. It's the same energy that is in you. And I've often shared the story, and I'm not going to go into it, but about the time that I met that woman who was homeless, and she was, as she labeled herself, a heroin addict. And I had a long conversation with her. And I saw her for who she was, not the label, not the addict, not the homeless person, but the light. I spoke to the light within her. And I know, because that's what namaste is, right? The divine in me bows to the divine in you. I know that same feeling of joy, of self-love, of confidence, of ability, and all of those same things that I can feel within me is in that woman. But she was so caught up in her story and her label. So this is leaving the impression of increase. And I think of her quite often, and I hope that I left a little spark in her that just has her looking.
Oh,
wow. Right when we got there.
right at the point. I want to hear that. What did she say?
Yeah, we're at the edge of our seats. Well, I'll let you pick up there, Paul. If Lou drops off, I'll add her back on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, the impression of increase is something that should become a daily practice. It's a way of moving through life and through the world. And Wallace Wattles, the author, he says that your entire business, whatever that is, should rest on that principle. Every interaction is a chance to plant a seed, a compliment, a helpful idea, a belief in someone's potential, a word of encouragement, a grateful attitude. Every seed multiplies and returns. And it often returns from unexpected directions. Like, you don't know, like I have so many examples in my own life. I think like, wow, like where did that come from? But it's just by, operating and going through life using these principles. So yeah, every seed multiplies and returns. And again, not from the place that you gave, but from somewhere else unexpected. And so, in one sentence, if I was going to say it in one sentence, become the person whose presence others feel in whose present others feel more capable, make others feel more hopeful, more expansive, and then the universe will increase your life in return. It just makes, makes your day, makes your life better, from unexpected places. So it's a really beautiful cycle that you create. Alicia.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about what Lou say, and I say that it's just being interested instead of interesting.
Mhm.
Trying to be interesting, I normally say that then you you take the other people's story, and then you start, yeah, but this happened to me, so it's like being more interested. And in order to, I normally ask when my friends, because my clients, I know that what I need to do when helping them, but when my friends ask me, oh, I want to talk to you, and so I ask them, how do you want me to support you? Because I don't coach without permission.
Mm.
uh, and when our friends want to talk to me, maybe they just want to say to me what they are going through. And it's why it's very difficult if I go with my coach hat, and trying to help them without the permission. I always ask, how do you want me to support you in this thing? And then it's also very important, Paul, you talk about the presence, to be present. And in order to be present in some conversation, in that conversation with a friend, we need to take away what we are, thinking all the time, because then we cannot be present. Like if somebody is telling me something and I am busy thinking, yeah, but I also have been doing that, or da, 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 having that conversation with myself, it will not help, because the I will be there present with my body, but I will not be present with my energy. And it's so important to have that presence, uh, being there, and not trying to use my my frame of weight of seeing the world to translate what the other person is um, is in the issues that they have, or something like that. But it's important, I think, for me, is to ask how they want to me to support them, so that I know that I do the right thing, not like, oh, but I cannot talk to Alicia because then she start to coaching. Sometimes I do with my son, and he say, "Ma'am, I know that you are coaching me." Okay, I'm not coaching you. I will not coach you. So,
Yeah, it's so funny you bring that up, Alicia. My family knows the coaching automatically comes out, and I
yeah,
can't hold it back.
yeah. He said that. At the same time, he say, "Oh, please don't talk to me." And this was when he was younger. Don't talk to me because I am coaching my friend. but he right away, when I talked to him, and he's 16 now, and he say, "Oh, I know that you are coaching me." I said, "Okay, we cannot be coached everywhere, so it's why I have that rules for myself, that I don't coach without permission." So my clients, I know that I is my role, but outside my clients, no coaching without permission. Yeah.
I understand. Lou, did you want to?
No, I'm good. But I wrote that down, Alicia. How do you want me to support you? I
Yeah.
love that because I too can go into,
Yeah.
coaching or mentoring mode.
Yeah.
So I really I love that. And I think I'm going to be mindful and adopt that.
Yeah.
It's a great question. So my question for the audience is, where in your own life can you give or offer a little more, increase to someone else? Just think about it this week or today. Think of someone that you may be able to leave the impression of increase. Just give it a try. It feels so good. And then when you feel good and the other person feels good, we're sending out better vibrations to the universe, better frequency, higher frequencies. And this all compounds into the collective consciousness where everyone will benefit. So just give it a shot. Do it, not try, just do it. As Jamel says.
There you go. There you go. Just do it. Sorry, just do it. Yeah. That's so good. I'm glad you brought that up, Lou. You can start with the impression of increase wherever you are. It's interesting. I started, with my wife and daughter. I see them every day. You can leave impression of increase with your loved ones, and your family, and start in your household. And you go out to the store, or holidays are coming up. It gets chaotic in stores and stuff like that. Maybe you're getting deliveries. Be nice to the person that delivered the food. Give a compliment. We had somebody come fix our HVAC system, and I kept giving them impression of increase. Look at that, 1111, impression of increase. So, I was like, wow, you guys are great. You did that fast. And you need any water or anything? I'm just giving. And like Paul mentioned as well, don't expect it from that same source. I said this, I had a client call right before this. The universe sees everything. There's nothing you can hide from it, even your own thoughts. So as you're giving, you're going to receive it from different channels, different directions. It may not be from that job that you don't like, or that company or whatever. It can come through someone else or from somewhere else. And so really, really apply this, because it's definitely life-changing. It really is. Don't take it lightly. Like Lou said, just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Right. And there was a few things I'll kind of hammer home here. He says, no matter how small the transaction, even if it be only the selling of a stick of candy to a little child, put into it the thought of increase and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought. So it doesn't matter how big or small. Of course, we're the ones that define what's big or small. The universe doesn't care, right? You want to make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought, that you're giving everything you have. So do everything that you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality. This is how you adapt the impression of increase, and that you are giving advancement to everybody, not just the people you like, especially people you may have challenges with. And Paul knows as well. We all know that. Feel that you're getting rich. This is a big one. Feel that you're getting rich. And that could be in anything, not just money. You have to open your mindset. Feel that you're getting rich, and that in so doing, you are making others rich and conferring benefits on all. So as remember, as you're filling up your cup, you're giving out what you're creating, right? And you must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. So every time you're at Coach's Corner, guess what you're getting? Increase every time. And even you rewatch it, you watch the replay, you're getting more increase. Watch it again, more increase, right? So see that you give them a use value greater than the cash value you're taking from them. Wow. So, I share in a lot of calls that when I'm talking, to my clients, and even on live sometimes, I'm drenched I'm like sweating and my heart rate goes up, and luckily I'm not on blood pressure medicine or anything well, I meditate and work out. But the point is the giving, right? That's the key. And I just wanted to kind of, because you're becoming the advancing person, and they want to associate with you, knowing the knowledge you have, the heart that you have, and they know they're receiving some greatness from you. And last but not least, he shared something very powerful at the end. I was trying to squeeze these in, I'm sorry, but this is the end here. Be aware of the insidious temptation to seek power over other men. This is big, okay? This is where competitive and creative. He says today, the main motive, I won't read some of the other stuff, but he said today, the main motive in the business and industrial world is the same. Men marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste the lives and hearts of millions in the same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by lust for power. So he says the mind that seeks mastery over others is a competitive mind. And the competitive mind is not the creative one. Okay? So remember, there's two different planes to create. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow men. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by the fate and environment. And your getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. So he says, beware of the competitive mind. He puts an exclamation point there. You don't want a competitive mind, okay? No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule, Jones of Toledo. He says, quote, what I want for myself, I want for everybody, end quote. So that's the creative mind. And I just really wanted to throw that in there at the very end, because we can easily fall into a competitive state, competitive mindset, which is very detriment, trying to have power over other people. You want to empower other people. So anybody want to add on to anything that I shared there? I know it was a lot.
Yeah, I want to what Lou say about the challenge to go um, and leave people with depression increase. I will challenge you to leave yourself with the impression of increase. What can you do so that you can leave yourself with impression of increase, not just bullying yourself, but leaving yourself with impression of increase?
That's really good. That is so good. I am enough. I am more than worthy. I am powerful. I'm successful. I'm bringing good to the world. There's a couple examples off the top of my head, So thank you, Alicia. Thank you to my amazing colleagues for everything you share every Sunday. And don't let it stop here. Okay. Don't let it stop here. Of course, this is just a short hour of this amazing material. We can talk all day until we fall asleep on camera, right? Or have to eat or something. So make sure you reach out to one of us, contact us today. Let's talk about your next step and how to apply this. And it really shifts everything. Talk to us. Our call links are in the comments or descriptions on whatever platform you're watching this, or just message us, anybody have any announcements for the month, since the last month of the year? Any events or anything you want to share for what you're doing?
Not at the moment for me,
Okay.
but if somebody is interested in knowing their values, they can always contact me to do a values assessment.
Oh, Lou has her hand raised. Let me, here we go.
Thank you. I am working on putting something together, but I will tell you, I am planning on just being more present during the holidays with my family and friends, and be mindful of, just enjoying this time. still working, but also prioritizing family and friends at this time.
Oh, and she,
Okay, you can mute me.
Yeah. No, you froze, but you're back. You're still here, Lou. Don't let the
Yeah,
see.
no matter what, I keep coming back.
That's right. And she's responding, not reacting. By the way, Paul, anything?
working on a series of workshops at the World Life Education Center for the new year. And just a reminder that if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else.
Excellent reminder. I love it. I love it. Actually, two things I forgot. On the 13th, I'm doing a setting the right type of goals. I'll be on the this mute button. This has been an amazing episode. On the 13th, I'll be doing a presentation. It's free on setting the right type of goals on the Be Awesome Network community. So reach out to me for access for that. I'm doing that for the Winner Circle. I've been invited to speak as a specialist there. And on the 20th, I'm doing an online event for the end of the year. It's my year, it's my life, free online event. So reach out to me on that as well. It's like a webinar online event as well to really tap into this material. So this has been awesome. As always, bye everybody. Apply this knowledge, and leave everyone with the impression.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.